Welcome to the Grovecast, a municipal podcast hosted by the City of Cottage Grove. We are here to demystify city government, make it more accessible to you, while also showcasing the real human beings who work every day providing services to our residents. As always, I'm your co-host, Phil Jentz, the city's communications manager.
Hey everyone, and I'm Emily Schmitz, the co-host as well, the city's community development director.
You're the co-host.
I am.
You're still the co-host.
Still.
You keep coming back, so thank you for that.
Yeah, I think it's a whole year, Phil.
Has it been a year?
I don't know.
I think we're
It
at
feels-
episode 8 or 9 or something.
Okay, I
We do
jumped the
them
gun a little bit,
monthly.
but
No, it's close. We're
It's
close.
Yeah. Time flies when you're having fun.
It has
We've
been
talked
fun.
to some awesome people, Phil.
We really have. We've had some good episodes. I think we're going to have a really good episode today, if I can say so myself.
Don't spoil it too quick.
So thank you for, coming back, Emily. Thanks to everyone who's
Absolutely.
been listening and sending in questions and what have you. We do really appreciate it.
Yeah, send more questions. That's because then you know that folks are really listening, Phil. I
Yeah.
mean, we're entertaining, but
We'd like to think so.
we'd like to think so. It'd be fun to, chat about everybody's
I completely agree.
very serious questions. Okay.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
And speaking of which,
Yeah.
almost a year, we're getting near the end of the year as we record
Right.
this. It's before the holidays.
Right.
As this episode comes out, I think it'll be early January. But
Yeah.
nevertheless, holiday food. What do you think, Emily? What's your favorite holiday snack or treat or food or whatever?
Oh dear. Well, a lot of things.
Just all of it.
Over a recent holiday, I had a corn casserole. Never had it before. No clue. I'll never go back. It's corn and cornbread in this casserole dish. Our guest is
Okay.
nodding. I can't wait to hear if he really does know what this is.
He's like, give me the recipe.
Yeah, it was so good. So that was my favorite.
I love that.
But I'm not.
I think you'll
particular.
find support in this neck of the woods for a
I'm-
corn-based
How do you not?
holiday dish.
Midwest corn.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Mine's
Yeah.
like the cookies with the Hershey's Kiss in the middle.
Oh yeah.
I love those.
Yeah.
I can't get enough of them.
Well, and that's the truth. There are 2 biters, so you can't just have one. You got 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple every few minutes.
It's fine.
Just
Phil,
to tide you over.
It's one time a year. We're all fine.
Yeah.
Don't
it's
come
true.
to us with your health questions. 'Cause we can't help you.
Completely correct. We're
Correct.
not here to talk about health. We're here to talk
Correct.
about government services.
Right.
So
Yes.
So here we are. So without much further ado,
Drum roll, please.
with us today is a very special guest. Very happy to have you join us. Is Fire Chief Jon Pritchard. Chief
Oh.
Pritchard, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
How you doing today?
Absolutely.
I'm doing very well, and I'm actually going to one-up Phil's with the Hershey Kiss.
Ooh.
You can actually really up your game with those. It's the same cookie dough, but you put either a Rolo or a peanut butter cup in there,
Peanut butter cup is the move.
and that's if you really want to up your holiday game and holiday cookie game.
Incredible.
So-
And what I think I just heard from our guest, Phil, is that he'll be bringing us some to try.
Well, I didn't hear that, but I'm hearing you say that. So,
Yeah.
John,
I'm pretty sure that's what I heard.
you're going to bake
So-
us some cookies?
If my mother makes enough of them and they can get through our family, I can bring you some in on. Maybe we can celebrate Boxing Day on the 26th
go.
with some of those cookies.
Happy to do so.
And when you said one up, I thought actually you were going to try to find a way to combine the corn dish and the cookie,
Well, actually,
like a cornbread-based Hershey's Kiss cookie, which sounds disgusting.
I hear that's the next Oreo flavor they're going to try, so
Ooh.
we'll see how that goes out for
Yeah.
everybody.
Corn?
No.
Oh,
Well, they did do candy corn, so I guess they are in the realm of that.
at
so-
this point,
It's
wouldn't
not far off.
surprise
So,
me.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Coming
Excellent.
soon to shelves in
Right.
quarter
right.
one of 2026.
Right. I'm so curious, Phil. John, in your position, a fire chief, I mean, just an esteemed position. But if you could have a superpower, and you can't say I'd put out all the fires. No. What is your superpower truly that you would choose?
Oh, boy.
Oh, we stumped him already.
You've already stumped me.
He's going to say Aquaman so that he can put out all the
Aqua-
fires.
Hey, I'll take it.
I think it would be to be in multiple places at once.
Yeah.
Ah,
And maybe that's a good one for all folks that work in government or truly
that's a
in
con-
life.
Right?
that's an answer we've heard before.
Oh, really?
Yes,
it
Okay,
is,
so
yeah.
good.
We're
It's a
all-
common.
We're all
Good.
thinking it, John.
Yeah.
Good. So we won't have to debrief with my therapist as long next month. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the coolest part of that, and especially for the fire service, is we do so many different things. Whether it's just not going to, if somebody's home is on fire, we're providing health promotion, health prevention, teaching people CPR, learning water rescue in case somebody has a water accident, or just getting somebody to the hospital in an ambulance. And
Right.
some days you got to train in all that sort of stuff. So if I could be in multiple classes at one time,
Right.
that'd be really, ideal for us. Or just plug in a USB port to the back of my head and download all that information, kind of like the Matrix.
Now we're in the
Yes.
Matrix.
Yeah. So
Yes.
so it's and truly to be in all those places, and of course, be a good father and all that pieces, and outside of work, that would truly be the superpower I'd love to have. So
It would solve all our
Yeah,
problems,
so-
John. Wouldn't that be great? But I think he alluded to what we're so curious about, Phil.
Right. I mean, there's a lot going on. There's a lot to do.
Yeah.
A lot of things you have to track and plates that are in the air. And it does actually make a lot of sense now that I'm thinking about it. Every time we ask this question,
Why?
people give us a very similar version of that answer, if not literally
They
that
do.
exact answer.
Yeah.
Because it's a council member, it's a mayor, it's a fire chief, police chief, or whoever it is.
The community, a resident,
They've got a
yeah.
lot going on and they got to be in a lot of places. So speaking of all of that, Chief Pritchard, I am guessing most people, when they hear about a fire chief, they kind of conjure up familiar images of firefighters and structure fires and things like that, fire engines. But, for those who may not know, what does a fire chief do?
great question. So first of all, I don't have a great mustache, so that's typically probably one of the stereotypes of a fire chief. So
that's not a prerequisite.
that's
for the
not
job.
a prerequisite. So mustache care isn't one of my daily tasks. Maybe one day, but I've been given bad feedback about any attempts to grow a mustache. So the best.
We all have strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah,
There's
we
nothing
can
wrong
we
with
can
that.
try, right? I mean, I've tried. There's some pictures out there, maybe, but I wouldn't recommend looking for them. So, a lot of our, and that's the best part of the fire chief job, I think, is just the strategic planning, is looking at how can we best serve the community, what other things can we do, and a lot of that goes back to the whole superpower. How can we be in multiple places at once? So it's starting to plan that. So, for example, a couple years ago, we did a home safety program. That was part of our strategic plan to make us safer. Our number one goal is to prevent fires, not to put them out.
Right.
So we hopefully, almost put ourselves out of business because of house fires devastating. And that is all about planning. Like, when does that come in? What resources do we need for that? And that's actually an exciting part of my job. It's a lot of Excel spreadsheets, a lot of research, a lot of making things digestible for folks. But that is the fun part. It's about that creativity, about thinking of new ways to serve our community. And we get to do that on a daily basis. Some of the other things I called maybe the more mundane things, but probably just as important. We got to make sure, people's payroll is, all
Right.
those steps
Right.
are in place for that. I would argue that's probably one of the top 3 for our firefighters to
Isn't
make sure that
the truth?
payroll
Yeah.
is done. Of course, the emails and all those sort of things, but really that strategic planning, and that's a daily process. It's building up things one by one, getting us to the right spot, getting the input from our firefighters of where they're at, what they love to do to better serve our community. And, I could probably go through all the, like I said, more mundane things, but that's truly the exciting part. And anytime we're looking forward or looking how we can better do things for folks, that's really the exciting and the part that truly is what I love about this job.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And then, and for the folks out there, I mean, as the community development director, my team, it continues to grow this city, right? And so John and I, have to work together from a strategic planning perspective as the community grows. To his point, how do we continue to serve? More importantly, from the public safety perspective, there's more people, there's more infrastructure, all the things. And I'm so, John, I know a little bit about your background, but maybe folks don't. And I don't know if you hit on this yet, but it's not only your team isn't, simply just firefighters,
Right.
paramedics, first responders, etc. Your background's pretty cool. And how did you end up as a fire chief?
So this is the I almost dread this question sometimes
Did
because
you?
I'm like, and it's because I'm excited to talk about it because it's kind of a cool path, but it also tends to put people to sleep because it's like this long, windy
Right.
road there. So Maybe I'll start at the beginning.
Oh boy, how long do we have, Phil?
In
I'm kidding.
1982, at
That's what I was
Northwestern
waiting for you to. Yeah, I
Hospital,
was waiting. Yeah.
a young man was born to the world.
And he grew up.
And he grew
to
up
be Chief
to be
Pritchard.
story over. That was fun. So, it's funny. I always talk about like what I wanted to be in high school. I wanted to be a lawyer and focus on constitutional law. And really, the goal of that was to, I wanted to do good for people, and I got really excited about that. But then I kind of ran into medicine. I took an EMT class in high school, and I'm like, I love this. This is such a great way to serve folks. And from there, I got somebody to talk to me into high school to go to firefighting classes at night. So before I graduated high school, I was a certified firefighter, and I got my EMT certification, which was pretty cool.
Really?
To have
Before you graduated?
Yeah, before I graduated high
That
school.
part I didn't know.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So I did that all my senior year. I also had to catch up on some other classes, which a lot of other people.
Yeah,
you
his
got to.
priorities were a little
There's some
skewed.
teachers out there right now who are like, what the heck?
That
Yeah.
That explains a
There's
lot.
some people that are probably surprised that I'm like, oh, he actually went to college.
He figured it out.
Yeah, I'm like,
Well, he turned out good, so
I'm sure some people lost some bets along the way, but and so I started a local fire department in Osseo, Minnesota, and again, the more I did it, the more I fell in love with it. And I actually early in my career pursued some full-time opportunities, but didn't really have much interest in leaving Minnesota, and there just weren't many fire jobs at that or full-time firefighter jobs out there. So I joined I started a job at a local emergency department in is Mercy Hospital in Coon Rapids, and like I love medicine. I love helping people, and then again, the emergency medicine, the variety of it, and that led me to go to nursing school. And during this time, I was still working as like what we call paid-on-call firefighter, volunteer firefighter, other folks might know it as, and went to nursing school, and just always had this love for firefighting. But then, of course, I love nursing. I love taking care of folks with that. And then I forgot to add the other part. I actually did a graduate program where I was able to become a nurse and get a master's degree together. But for my undergrad, I did history and sociology. So again, really driven to that. So I love seeing like when Emily talks about different housing opportunities and all that stuff, that just speaks to my heart about a lot of the stuff that I kind of really embraced in my studies and just in some of my, worldviews. But then it all kind of came together. I moved to the East Metro, and I joined White Bear Lake Fire Department, and they had an ambulance service. So I always loved EMS, but I was always on the receiving side of it, like working in an ED as an ER tech or working as an ER nurse, which I started doing in 2013 at one of the large trauma centers. I'm like, this EMS stuff's pretty cool. So White Bear Lake gave me the opportunity to go to paramedic school, and actually, little joke, we call it the Zero to Hero program because in Creighton University in Nebraska, in Omaha, you can go there as a nurse, and you take a couple weeks there. They get you up to the paramedic level, do some clinicals, and you can get your paramedic if you're a nurse within about 4 months.
Oh, no kidding.
So we do kid. It's like, because, of course, paramedics make fun of nurses. So we're like the Zero to Hero program. Like, yeah, it's fitting,
Yeah, it works.
That's how I felt.
Like, can you not call me a zero, though?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what's up with that? Maybe the rebrand?
That's
I don't know.
part of the fire EMS service. You can take a few jabs here
That's
and there.
fine, yeah.
And then as I became a paramedic and working on the ambulance, and then that really, I think, then I worked in leadership at regions. And one of the pieces that I really wanted more of was just more of that community involvement. Because in a hospital, you're taking care of the community, but you're not like in the community.
Right.
And that's what really drove me. And it really, and as, of course, you're like, what does this look like for me? And then just the best opportunity ever came up with Cottage Grove Fire was kind of restructuring. They wanted somebody to come in who had that paramedic background and also a fire background to really go, how can we better provide EMS services?
Right.
I was very fortunate to get hired as a deputy chief in 2019. And it just filled all those things for me, like my interest in that community involvement, being in the community, the firefighting, ambulances, and just all those things. And I felt it was just like this perfect accumulation of all those things that I truly have passion for. And ever since, worked as a deputy chief for 4 years here, got promoted to fire chief at the end of 2023, and
It all fell into place,
It just
John.
all fell into place, and
Totally.
I'm reminded about that sometimes. Like, oh, that kind of worked out for you, you know?
Yeah,
Right?
So,
absolutely
Right?
did.
yeah. So
And sometimes the paths take you there. And I think it's so important for folks to know. You mentioned, right? I mean, your sole purpose is to provide care to the community
Yes.
and have that emergency
Right.
response. And it's not that easy. You got to plan for that. You have to be prepared. There's systems in place. I mean, you're constantly evaluating. How can we be better? How can we be
Right.
more efficient to make sure this community is safe? I mean, that's huge.
And that focus on EMS too. I mean, it makes a lot
Right.
of sense. Some people may know, some people may not. That
there's
you're-
a balance there. Yeah.
there's a balance, and also your calls for service on a yearly basis to things like structure fires is obviously incredibly important. I mean, that's maybe somebody's worst day of their life.
Yeah.
Heaven
Yeah.
forbid if that something happens. But then your calls for those versus calls for medical. I mean, the medical calls far exceed and outweigh
yes.
structure fires, and so that focus on EMS is obviously incredibly important within the balance of the whole department.
Very much, and it is the balance, because it goes back to I really love this superhero question, because now I'm thinking like every way I answer this now, it's like we have to, and especially since our folks are firefighter paramedics, they have to be elite level firefighters,
Yeah.
but also elite level medical providers. And now the medical part is kind of nice because they get that daily experience, but
Yep.
at the same time we have to train for that less frequent
Right.
Yeah.
fire, and it's just every day it's how are we elite level providers and firefighters to best serve folks, and that's a lot of work day in and day out to
Yep.
make that happen.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Oh.
John, we kind of alluded to it, but what's something someone may not know about your position and what you do? Or maybe it's obvious. Is it obvious?
No, I think a lot of it's I think when you think about a fire chief or firefighter, it's like driving the truck or what truck goes out first. But it's truly, I think, to what you alluded to, is how do you balance all these things that you do? Because, I mean, for example, like we have a very high standard for training and certification and everything. A frontline firefighter might have like over a dozen certifications of things, and that's from anywhere from being certified to be a firefighter and paramedic, certified to drive a fire truck and operate a fire truck, water rescue, like how do I run a scene? And I think that's what folks maybe underestimate is how much training and
Right.
Yeah.
and engagement we have to get in folks, and also just how we have to invest in folks to make them that way. Because when you see that firefighter paramedic roll up
Yep.
into your home, I mean, that's thousands of hours of training, 1,000 hours of practice, and literally have that like elite level person show up while they might have a smile on their face, and you're like, oh, that's or hey, cool mustache, it's
Right.
like
Yeah.
it's
There's
an
more
amazing,
behind that.
yeah, and it's a lot of work to get there.
And
And
specialized.
Yeah, absolutely, and which kind of dovetails into what I was
Yeah.
maybe just going to say is like a fire department in 2025 or a fire department in 2026. I am assuming looks and operates a lot different than a fire department even 5 years ago, but let alone 10, 15, 20 years ago. And you've touched on a lot of that already, of like kind of the transition and how things have shifted a little bit.
Yeah, and that is, and we see one of the hardest parts in fire departments that we've been faced with was how do we staff differently? Because traditionally, fire departments, especially in the suburbs, were staffed with what we call paid on call. You carry a pager, you get paid a little amount, or as volunteers. But, think of all the things we just talked about.
Right.
How do you work a full-time job, take care of a family, and then have all these certifications? So that's been one of our biggest challenges.
Be trained and prepared for
Yes,
all those
and
things.
and we see it all over the suburbs right now as we make this transition, and they're difficult transitions. It's a lot of investment, not just financially, but time, effort, and a lot of changes that go on. And that's actually one of the things in Cottage Grove we've been working really hard on to do that, kind of that transition. Because, and to your point, Phil, 5 years ago, very different. I'm honestly and genuinely, it's better. We provide a better service, but it's been tons of work to do that. And I think what helps more than anything, especially in Cottage Grove, is the support we get from the community has been so just, I mean, I don't think folks, and I'm not a big, like, thank you for your service type of person, but I mean, just when people come out to our events or genuinely engage with us, or when we did our fire prevention program, when people just invited us into their homes to let us look at their smoke alarms, which is a very, like, vulnerable experience.
Yeah, it's into their personal space,
Yeah.
right? But they understand the value and they trust
Absolutely.
your team that what they're doing is incredibly beneficial.
You've got our backs. You're going to make sure we're
Totally.
safe and prepared. So Chief Pritchard, with that, we're nearing the end of the time here. It goes by quickly.
Well, and I talk a lot too, so
Yeah,
No,
we knew
it's
that.
all
We
great.
knew it, John.
Like, we don't talk a lot. The
Phil
people
and
who
I
are
had
hosting
an
the
out.
podcast. Just I mean, maybe you've already mentioned it, but is there anything in particular that you are, particularly fond of in your career, either in Cottage Grove or just in general?
I think there's two moments, I go one to COVID, and COVID was more than a moment, right? I think that's an era now we can all fair say. But when our team stepped up and we did we did mobile testing clinics to give people access to COVID testing, and then we helped out with vaccinations with Washington County Public Health. And it wasn't just that our paramedics and EMTs stepped up to help. I mean, and it was overwhelming support from our department. But what our city did, I remember our city administrator, Jennifer Levitt, I said, Jennifer, I have this crazy idea on how we can help with this. And she's like, all right, let's make this happen. And she brought in all the departments. And literally that was a citywide effort on how we could support a lot of those pieces. And just watching that partnership, that just unrelenting, like, we're going to serve the community the best we can, was just, it was humbling. It was pride-inducing, and just
the emotion.
That's really cool.
And truly, the access we gave to folks was the most important part, because that was lacking early in the pandemic. So if I, pin something, that is literally what I'm most proud of and there's a long list because we have such a great fire department and city, but that truly is what I saw in that moment, when truly that's what the world needed and we needed.
Yeah.
And you didn't know that,
at the
initially.
time.
No, it was, like I said.
And all of a sudden, here's this problem.
Yeah, and that was funny because it was 3-4 months into my tenure here.
Ooh, wow.
So I'm like,
welcome to Cottage Grove,
exactly,
Mr. Pritchard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a lot of people crazy idea. Let's see what he comes up with. And
but what a way to adapt and respond
Yes.
to the need of the moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's so cool.
So really fast, and I'm shifting here really quick because I have to know.
We have to.
I have to know, John, what is your favorite food? Your go-to, your comfort, I'm starving. This is what I'm going to have.
And why is it the corn Oreo?
And why is it the corn Oreo? That was a similar question we had of our public safety director.
Yeah.
Why cereal?
Oh,
Cereal?
gosh.
But, okay.
No, that's game. That's game right there, cereal. But
we wouldn't judge.
No, peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
That is fantastic.
That is literally the jam, I guess I can say. But
Oh.
that is,
boy.
sorry.
Well, that's all the time we
yeah,
got
exactly.
for you
We're gonna wrap
today. Oof.
Too bad you don't have like the womp womp like the
That was
sound
good.
bar, but
Folks, he's funny. I got to give it to him.
Oh boy.
or I try. He tries hard, like the mustache. I try.
Peanut butter jelly. Is it just white bread, peanut butter, and jelly?
I'm the wheat bread person, so
Yeah,
you
John
know.
makes healthy choices.
Crunchy peanut butter? What are we talking
No, it's the
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the natural peanut butter.
Got it.
And with
Oh.
you know what? I dabbled in other jellies, but good old fashioned grape jelly is where you go.
I've dabbled, but
I've dabbled, you know.
I've found
is-
my home.
I
in
had a
the grape
raspberry
jelly.
phase, but I went
Ew.
back to grape, and
Move out of
that's where it
that.
is.
Okay.
Oh, this is excellent. Well, so anybody out there who wants to know how to
PB&J.
just give a little
Yeah.
pat on the back, bring Chief Pritchard a PB&J on wheat bread with grape
Or
jelly.
even Uncrustable to become a
In a pinch.
niche favorite of
Yeah.
mine. So.
Incredible. Those are on the special days. This is
Yes.
great. So
We're learning so much.
this is
A
fantastic.
real peek behind the curtain.
Even if you don't thaw them, I'll find a way to get them ready to
John.
eat in a few hours. So
John, no. I got to draw a line somewhere. Well,
Oh, Phil,
That
he
unint-
does
that-
good work.
that unintentionally became a very great segue to end the
did.
episode,
It did. We got to move on, Phil.
which isn't why we're ending, but
I find those off ramps pretty quickly. So
well, I appreciate that. You helped our job out. Well, John, Chief Pritchard, thank you so much for joining us. I know that in your fascinating and honestly really cool career and history and your story, you probably never were like, I know one day I want to be on a podcast as a part of my job. So I do appreciate it. It's a little outside of the box and you got a lot going on. So thank you.
No, thank you. And actually being on a morning show was a career goal of mine. So I'm going
No way.
to check the box on that
This
one
counts.
for this.
Check that life
This
list
counts.
box.
Yeah.
Phil,
Add it to the LinkedIn.
Yes.
Yeah, it counts.
look what we've done.
Well, Chief Pritchard, thank you. Emily, thank you as always. And thank you all for listening. This has been the Grovecast, a City of Cottage Grove municipal podcast. You can catch episodes monthly, and to listen or download, find us at CottageGroveMN.gov/thegrovecast or wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you to True Lens Community Media for producing the Grovecast, and stay tuned for our next episodes where we'll move on to other departments, city services, or other topics. Thanks for listening.